why are some Bluey fans convinced that Bluey is not actually the first child of Bandit and Chilli, but is instead a rainbow baby? Let's talk about it, but first, I think we need to define what a rainbow baby is. For some parents, a rainbow baby is the child that's born after a child that has been lost. Now, this loss could come in a myriad of ways. It could be a miscarriage, it could be a stillbirth, it could be SIDS, but regardless of the type of loss, the baby that comes after that is sometimes referred to as a rainbow baby. And there is a fan theory that's very popular that Bluey is actually a rainbow baby. Now, fans who believe in this theory, and I count myself among them, point to two different things on Bluey that suggest that Bluey might be a rainbow baby. Now, the first is a blink and you'll miss it scene in the episode The Show. And in this episode, Bingo and Bluey are role-playing as Bandit and Chilli, pretending that they're acting out scenes from when Bandit and Chilli met and courted and eventually had a baby. And there's one scene in particular that people will point to. It's when Bingo is role-playing as Chilli and she's pretending to be pregnant with Bluey. So she's got this balloon that's underneath her shirt, and as they're talking, the balloon just pops. That's actually not the part that Bluey fans point to and say this is evidence that Bluey is a rainbow baby. It's what happens immediately after that, because there's this little tiny sliver of a scene where we cut to Bandit and Chilli sitting together on the bed, and Bandit just quietly reaches over and touches her hand. And even though this is very short, you can tell that they're sort of trying to not have a reaction in front of the children. Now, there are plenty of interpretations of this. I've seen some folks say, oh, well, it was probably that they were worried about Bingo's reaction, and so they were trying to stay calm. But the thing is, Bluey's a really intentional show. Every episode's only 7 minutes, so they're really specific about what they choose to put on screen. Everything that's there is there for a reason. Now, that scene on its own might not be enough to say, yes, this is definitive evidence that Bluey is absolutely a rainbow baby, that Bandit and Chilli had a baby prior to Bluey, but they lost it in some way, shape, or form. What lends this theory credence, however, is what the show is willing to tackle. And it comes back to the fact that Bluey is one of the rare kid shows that is completely unafraid to tackle what would otherwise be really difficult topics for kids in a way that makes sense to both parents and children. And the array of topics that they've chosen to take on is pretty impressive. They've tackled bullying in the episode Midnight.
Hey Bingo, are you okay?
Banjo said my arms are too stubby to reach the monkey bars.
Oh man, this Banjo.
They tackled premature birth in the episode Early Baby.
But I don't want to leave Polly! You have to be the bravest you've ever been.
They've addressed divorce, although in passing in the episode Helicopter.
Winton! I know he doesn't live with my mom!
I believe they addressed dementia in the episode Bedroom when they talked about Grandpa Bob, wherever he is, and how he forgot that Bingo was born. And the show has also been willing to talk about death in the episode Copycat, which is when the budgie died and Bluey had to cope with that.
The little budgie died.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry kiddo. Come here.
And there's also an episode that is only aired in Australia, it has not aired globally yet, called Onesies. It's an episode in the second half of season 3, and in that episode, Chilli's sister Brandy comes for a visit, and it's revealed that Brandy is infertile. She cannot have children, despite really, really wanting to have children.
There's something Auntie Brandy wants more than anything as well. But she can't have it, and there's not really anything anyone can do.
So when you couple the show's willingness to tackle really difficult topics in ways that make sense to both children and parents, and you couple that up with their intentionality, how they never put anything on screen that doesn't have some sort of purpose, it's easy to see where they might be suggesting that Bluey is actually a rainbow baby, that Chilli and Bandit did have a child before her, but that child passed in some way, shape, or form. And the third thing that really lends credence to this theory is that the showrunners and members of the show have been asked about this repeatedly by the press, and they repeatedly declined to comment to confirm one way or the other whether or not Bluey actually is a rainbow baby. And while there's a fair argument to be said that they really just want people to draw their own conclusions, that's what I'm doing. I am drawing my conclusion, and I do think that Chilli and Bandit had a baby prior to Bluey. That baby did not survive. If anyone has a strong counter argument, I would love to hear it. This is obviously a show that I care a lot about. So if you have an idea, please put it in the comments. But for me, this is why I choose to believe. This is why I choose to believe the showrunners intended when they created that scene, when they created the show, that Bluey actually is a rainbow baby. I love the idea of them making this big tent for parents who have also lost children, who may not have had the chance to become the parents that they wanted to be because of that loss. And quite frankly, that's a beautiful thought. It's a heartbreaking thought, but it's a beautiful thought to me. And that's what I like. That's what I want to have happened. I want those folks to be included. And I think the show has done that. At the end of the day, even if I'm wrong, I think that we can all agree that this is an amazing show that reaches a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And kudos to Ludo, to BBC, to Disney for putting together such an amazing, incredible show.